On Estuary News tonight, could Hull be the new home for Channel 4, the future of an iconic building in Hull, and 25 years of care at a Scunthorpe hospice. And later in tonight's programme, Angela Pearson will be telling me about a carnival in Grimsby. Before that, Stephen Mirfin and Craig Moody on being out in the workplace. Hello, good evening. Welcome to Tuesday's programme with me, Luke Adams. First tonight, Hull has thrown its hat into the ring to become the new home of Channel 4. Hull City Council have confirmed today that they've submitted a bid to the national broadcaster for them to make their home in the Fruit Market area of the city. Other places, including Manchester, Sheffield, Liverpool and Cardiff, have also made offers. Channel 4 announced earlier this year that they'll be leaving their current home in London. The leader of Hull City Council, Stephen Brady, says Hull has exceeded all expectations as the UK's city of culture. Plans for a new ambulance, fire and police station in Lincoln have been revealed today. The new Tri-service station will house over 400 emergency services staff at South Park in a bid to improve frontline services. The building will be home to ambulance crews working in Lincoln, Lincoln South's firefighters and the police. If approved, construction will start early next year. Next this evening, Hull has 9 new listed buildings and structures, but the iconic Lord Line building on the St Andrew's Quay isn't one of them, a point of much frustration for a team of people trying to save it from demolition. The Humber Bridge and the tidal barrier were amongst the places recognised by Historic England yesterday, but despite being listed locally, the Lord Line still doesn't have national status. Plans were submitted to Hull City Council last month to demolish the building, but Natalie Taylor, who has a 1,200-strong petition, says it played a key role in the city's past and should also feature in its future.
It's been here for years. It's, architecturally, it's absolutely a beautiful building. It's very, it's old in a new era, and it could be magnificent. And yeah, I do find it quite frustrating that newer buildings have been given listed status. And I think with it being the city of culture as well, I think we need to really work on that and drive on it and show it's not just a central thing, it can be citywide.
It's what it means to all ex-fishermen. It's the most iconic building that's left of what was once one of the biggest fishing ports in the world. And to knock that down, it's just going to make the name, St Andrew's Dock disappear.
The public really don't want to see it go. And it's been, like you say, an ongoing thing for all of my lifetime. I'm 34 and all I can remember is people power saving the Lord Line. So something now needs to move forward from just saving it. We need to have some sort of regeneration. The dock needs to be brought up to, a standard what it truly deserves.
Lincolnshire Police are training more officers to use tasers. It's part of the force's drive to keep the public safe and resolve incidents as quickly and safely as possible. The force already has a number of specially trained officers, but carrying out more training this month. Following rigorous training above the national required standard, officers are then deployed across the county to deal with a range of incidents. Scunthorpe's Lindsay Lodge Hospice is celebrating a silver anniversary today. The charity turns 25. The hospice provides palliative care to people in North Lincolnshire suffering from life-limiting illnesses. Fred McNamara joined in with today's celebrations.
Lindsay Lodge Hospice in Scunthorpe is celebrating 25 years of delivering bespoke care to patients with life-limiting illnesses. The hospice relies on outside donations and utilises hundreds of volunteers to carry out their work.
I think, to have so many people turn out today to celebrate our birthday of being 25 years old is absolutely marvellous. I think the achievement in terms of the growth of Lindsay Lodge over the last 25 years has been absolutely worthy of celebration. Had great support and we've got some truly dedicated staff, and we mustn't forget the patients and carers and families that we supported over those years. Hopefully we give a 5-star service and that's appreciated.
Lots of services have developed in between 2002 and now, so a lymphedema service, complementary therapies. So the whole place is fabulous now, but in 1985 there was nothing. The two main ones were getting the daycare unit in the first place and then adding the inpatient service. And you're talking about millions and millions of pounds to build.
As well as the physical, emotional care plays a vital role in the work the hospice does.
When they come here, they sometimes haven't a clue what to expect. and particularly inpatients who arrive sometimes not very well, but when they improve a little bit, as many do, then they're very pleased to be here, and they talk about 5-star service, which we do try and make possible.
You know, I've been in post at Lindsay Lodge over the last year, and for me it's about securing the next 25 years. And obviously, as you would expect, everything has a degree of wear and tear. So we launched a campaign last October to refurbish our patients' bedrooms, and we're very proud today and excited to showcase 6 of those rooms that have been made possible with support of local donations.
For the next 25 years and beyond, Lindsay Lodge Hospice has its eyes set on continuing to deliver care and support to local people. From McNamara, Estuary News.
Now, to celebrate Pride in Hull, which takes place this weekend, a group of skilled experts have been offering training to those who work closely with the LGBT community. I'm delighted to welcome my first guests tonight, Craig Moody and Stephen Mirfin, to tell me more about the workshops which they've been involved with. Good evening, gentlemen. Welcome to the programme. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you for
First
having
of all,
us.
tell me why these workshops have been set up and have been taking place.
So I think the reason why they were set up and taking place, especially for this week, is due to it being Pride this weekend, leading into LGBT 50 for the city. It just seemed as a really good opportunity that actually we could also get that message out there to professionals who are working in different services and that may not have a great knowledge of LGBT people.
Okay, fantastic. Stephen, what message has these workshops been trying to get out there, like Craig mentioned?
I think it's been very important that people understand about LGBT backgrounds, where people come from. We touched on sort of history aspects, because it's been very important to know what has actually come from the past, you know, in order that we understand people today and for the future. So it's been really good to be able to actually give that knowledge, I suppose, in a way to the people who attended.
The session which you conducted yesterday, what kind of things did you actually cover and how did that educate people?
There was a lot we covered, wasn't there? There was there was a lot of history areas. We looked at LGB, lesbian, gay and bisexual, and we also then touched on the trans, which, you know, one's around sexuality, the other's around gender identity, and it often gets mixed up. So there were some great conversations we had with the people who attended. Very open-minded bunch, and it was great to be there with them for the day.
And feedback from the group, did they learn a lot from it, and
the feedback that we received at the end of the session was really positive. A lot of people thinking about things in a different way, having more confidence about being able to support LGBT members of staff, and just about being more of an open workplace that if they aren't aware they may have LGBT members of staff, and how to ensure that those people feel comfortable working in that environment.
Fantastic. So hopefully all the delegates who came along yesterday will learn something and take something away from it. Stephen, why would you say it's important to have a rich, diverse workplace in 21st century Britain?
It's very important because society is made up of all these people from all different backgrounds. Therefore, the workplaces need to be, especially when we look at, you know, the fire services were there. There was the many criminal justice agencies were there, you know, and they're people that serve everybody within the community. And so it's important that their workforces are also replicated in terms of the people they serve.
Fantastic. Would you say 50, we're almost about to celebrate 50 years since the partial decriminalisation of homosexuality in the UK. 50 years is a relatively short space of time. Would you say, gentlemen, in terms of the workplace, we have made great strides moving forward in those 50 years?
Yes, definitely, yes. I think at first things, you know, 50 years ago, it took a bit of a backward step within society, and no doubt that will have been reflected within the workplace in the more recent years, you know, with the law changing in 2003. For the first time ever, there was equality within sexuality in 2003. That's not that long ago. So there's been huge leaps forward in the last couple of decades, really.
And would you say, Craig, that it's a more tolerant workplace, you know, for where you work as well?
I would say definitely more so now. I'm also quite lucky because I work in a very diverse workplace anyway. However, I have had previous jobs, you know, only a few years ago that were no diversity really whatsoever, and where I certainly didn't feel comfortable coming out as myself within those workplaces, and I didn't feel like I was supported in that. And it makes a massive difference being able to work for an organisation that can say, you know, we support you, we understand the differences that there can be, and we can work with that.
Absolutely, because we spend a lot of time at work, don't we? More so than any other time in our lives.
Absolutely.
If people are experiencing prejudice or stereotyping in their workplace, what should they do? What advice would you give them, Stephen?
What I'd say is, I mean, there's always your HR departments, and you know, a good HR department doesn't mean that they're going to come down on somebody like a ton of bricks, but they give that opportunity for their employees to speak to them and see what the issues are, and then work with them. But I mean, if that doesn't work, then outside the organisation, you know, there's the LGBT Forum for Hull and East Riding. I know on the South Bank there are organisations here as well. So, you know, it's important. There's things like Stonewall. Stonewall's a great charity. Great charity, and they have a lot of information. And employees can go on their website and they can pull off all sorts of information that will help. Yeah.
Gentlemen, very quickly, how important are these workshops to tie in with the whole LGBT celebrations we're about to see? In 20 seconds.
Very important.
I think the fact that it gives the opportunity for organisations and people who work within those organisations to ask those questions that they may not feel comfortable asking outside of a training environment that's very safe and very open to kind of answer those questions, and it gets a real bit of debate going, which is always really good, breeds education.
Excellent. Excellent. And you're both pleased with how well the sessions have gone?
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you both very much indeed for coming into the studio this
Thank
Tuesday
you.
evening. Time for a break now, but still to come tonight, I'll be joined on the server by Angela Pearson telling me about a new carnival in Grimsby and all the latest sports news with Dan. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come this Tuesday evening, the latest sports news with Dan, and I'll be talking to Angela Pearson about a carnival for Grimsby. We reported yesterday that Hull's historic Pearson Park has been awarded a £3 million cash boost. Due to a few technical difficulties in last night's programme, we were unable to bring you the full report. However, the grant from the National Lottery under the Parks for People scheme will allow for a range of refurbishment and reinstatement works. These include rebuilding the conservatory and restoring the historic archway entrance to the park. The award will also fund a 5-year activity plan to increase community engagement. Councillor John Fairham is also chair of the Pearson Park Trust and says they'll go back in time to make the restoration in keeping with its Victorian style. And we'll bring you more of that story when we can. Now I'm joined in the studio by Angela Pearson to tell me about a new carnival heading to Grimsby Town this weekend. Good evening, Angela. Welcome to the original drawing. Thank you very much indeed for coming in. So first of all, this is the inaugural carnival which you've helped set up and launch.
Yeah, that's right. We're running a carnival at the car park at the Ice House in Victor Street, Grimsby, and all the proceeds are going to be going towards the shoebox appeal. So we've got an open air stage with some performers from ABC Dance, Pearson Productions and the Lincolnshire Pipe Band, and we've got lots of stalls, so we want lots of people to come along and support us.
Okay, fantastic. You mentioned there, Angela, the Shoebox Appeal, Operation Christmas Child, great charity. Why did you particularly choose that charity for where these funds will go to?
Okay, yeah. CAWL, our room that we hire from the Ice House, is based in the same place as the shoeboxes, and we see each other all the time, especially at Christmas when they're busy working towards it. So we thought, let's choose a local charity and something close to our hearts, and they're literally next door, so it would be nice to support them.
And they do great work. Now, this isn't the figure locally. This will be nationally, of course. 11,485,662 shoeboxes were collected last year for last year's appeal. Staggering, fantastic work.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And they start packing these boxes literally in February, and just so they can get off to the people in Romania and around the world and the children who need it. So we just want to support them with the job that they do.
Making a real difference to people's lives.
Yeah.
Angela, the carnival's taking place on
Saturday, yeah, Saturday the 22nd. We start at 1 o'clock, kick off. The first performance is at 2 o'clock. There'll be lots of, there's an ice cream van, there's a barbecue that's been provided by the Ice House. We'd like to thank them for their support as well. They've been fantastic in helping us organise this. We've got characters, we've got dancing, we've got singing, lots of family community. So pop along to the Ice House. It's £1 to get in for adults. Yeah,
definitely worth £1.
And it's free for children, and it all goes to a great cause.
Fantastic. fantastic. And there's going to be lots of stalls there as well. What are some of the stalls?
Yeah, we've got some craft stalls. We've got a couple of our ladies who've been busy making things. Angela and Kath, they support us in all what we do. And then we've got a lady who makes little pinafores for children. We've got a tombola, we've got a chocolate board, we've got Bat the Rat. So all the traditional stalls that you see at Carnival.
Yeah, appeal to me, Angela. I can tell you're very enthusiastic about the event.
Very much so.
Why did you decide to set it up?
Well, obviously, unfortunately, we don't have the Cleethorpes Carnival this year, and we wanted, our members enjoy it so much, and we wanted to do our own sort of thing. No, we're not moving as the Carnival does at Cleethorpes. We are static at the Ice House, but we're hoping people will support it as much as the Cleethorpes Carnival.
Because this time of the year, of course, we're awash with carnivals taking place right across the region, aren't we?
Yeah.
Carnivals are all about community.
Yeah.
Is there a strong community in Grimsby?
Yeah, well, there is with the local performing arts groups, and we want to expand that to the local community around the Freeman Street area and the Grimsby and North East Lincolnshire area. So hopefully people will come along and take part in the community day, and it'll be something that'll be remembered for years to come, and if it's successful, we'll do it every year.
That's what we're hoping for, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's a successful event, it long may continue.
Yeah, absolutely.
So £1 entry.
Yep.
And that £1 will go to the Shoebox Appeal.
Correct, yeah.
Have you done any fundraising prior to the event?
We're always doing fundraising because Community Art Works Limited is based at the Grimsby Ice House, and we're a social enterprise company, non-for-profit, who support and help out people who can't afford maybe arts and creative arts. So along the year we do lots of fundraising. We have open mic nights, we have raffles, we have a film movie night.
Excellent.
So we're doing lots of fundraising.
Wonderful. Angela, I hope it'll be a great day. Good luck.
Thank you
you very much indeed. Now, as promised, here's Councillor John Fairham.
We're still in the archives in Hull City Council, and we said this is what was planned. We looked at various photographs throughout the ages because we didn't say we were going to go back to year X. We just said this has been the feel of the park, if you like, and we decided that we'd just create that vision. So we're not actually building anything that's new. There's nothing new. It's not going to transform in the sense of this is going to be a completely different park. It's going to restore, and we're going to start with stuff like where we are here. There'll be a bridge put back in across the park that was taken out. The conservatory over my shoulder will be rebuilt because it is beyond repair. It actually needs rebuilding, and the gateway entrance and the lodge will be done, and there'll be just general tidying up as well, so people will still recognise the park.
It's unbelievable. It's come at the right time and we're all absolutely delighted. I still can't quite believe it, but it is fantastic. It means that we can put right some of the things that have had to not exactly deteriorate, but have not been upgraded for quite a long time owing to the squeezes on council funding. We quite understand that, and this is just a gift, you know, from heaven, if you like.
Trees are going to be trimmed better. The paths won't be concrete anymore. They should be resin-bound gravel, or many of the paths anyway, not all, because there's a lot to be done. The conservatory will be a better facility for them to enjoy. And that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to take away what they've known. We're trying to make it better.
Looks like it's definitely worth a visit to Pearson Park, but now here's Dan with all the latest news from the world of sport.
We'll start with the breaking Hull City news this evening. Fraser Campbell, the striker whose goals fired them back into the Premier League in 2008, looks to be on his way back. He's reportedly heading to their training camp in Portugal this evening to undergo a medical. The deal is set to be a free transfer, with him departing Crystal Palace. Two City players were expected to be outbound. Both Andy Robertson and Eldin Jakupovic left the club's training base yesterday ahead of moves back to the Premier League. Jakupovic is expected to sign for Leicester City, while Robertson is likely to make an £8 million move to Liverpool. We'll bring you news when all the deals are confirmed. Meanwhile, City are playing in their second pre-season game this evening. They're taking on Bristol Rovers at the Estadio de Nora, kicking off at 6:30 GMT. Grimsby Town are back in action tonight too. They're facing Bideford of the Southern League Division 1 during their 5-day-long camp in Devon. And the Mariners will be without defender Andrew Boyce, who's departed the club for National League side Eastleigh on a free transfer. He made 15 appearances in his one season with Town. Graham Alexander says he'll be giving increased game time to some of his players in tonight's game against SK Strobel in Austria. The game is taking place at the Irons Obertraun training base. Alexander says he'll give the starting 11 around an hour of action instead of changing the full team at half-time. North Ferriby United manager Steve Howsham says on-trial winger Jack Barlow needs to help himself before being offered a contract by the Villagers. The former Hull City and Grimsby Town youngster is currently without a club but has been playing for Ferriby during pre-season. Howsham says he's got the ability to succeed but needs to look after himself better.
He got in touch with me in the summer and he wants to make a name for himself, but you know, I can only do so much. We just said there as a group, individually they've got to look after themselves as well, because we're only twice a week, and you know, Jack has definitely got something about him, but we can only do so much to help him. He's got to help himself sometimes as well, so you know, hopefully he goes away and thinks, I can make a name for myself again, because he was a known big thing back in the day, and like you say, if he gets his head screwed back on, there is a player there, but he's got to help himself as well.
Rugby now, and Hull KR new boy Danny Maguire says he feels like he needs to prove himself all over again. Super League's all-time leading try scorer has joined the Robins on a 2-year contract from next season. The current Leeds Rhinos captain wants a new challenge to see out his career instead of remaining at Headingley. He opted to move to Cacombe Craven Park despite interest from a number of other clubs. The 34-year-old former England and Great Britain international will be a Robin next season, regardless of their league status. And Hull FC have plenty to work on in Friday's game against Huddersfield Giants. That's according to back rower Mark Minicello. The Black and White suffered their 3rd loss in a row last time out against Leeds. He says they made too many simple errors and has criticised their ball control. And that's all for the sport.
Thanks very much, Dan. That's it for tonight, I'm afraid. As always, if you have a news story, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages or email news@estuary.tv. You can also phone our news desk, which is a Grimsby number 01472 31553, or put pen to paper and write to us at Estuary TV, Nuns Corner, Laceby Road, Grimsby, North East Lincolnshire, DN34 5BQ. As always, we'll look forward to hearing from you. I'll see you same time tomorrow. Until then, have a great Tuesday evening.